they've got this attitude that the rule of law doesn't apply to them. And this is the Ray FBI. This is why you can't trust the FBI. They don't think the rules apply to them as a law enforcement agency. They're ignoring even the Justice Department. I am so frustrated about the way the FBI has been operating. They are terribly corrupt, and we have a new lawsuit that I didn't print it out. Well, anyway, we have a new lawsuit that exposes the corruption. We have sued for the text messages of key FBI officials in federal court. And this is really outrageous because the FBI is taking the legal position that text messages are not subject to the Freedom of Information Act. I've told you about this before. And in fact, they have the text messages, although because they're not subject to FOIA, they allow essentially all employees to delete them as they see fit. So who knows what's being deleted, which makes it even more outrageous. So we've sued for those text messages in federal court because the FBI is just refusing to follow the law there. And let's put it this way. It is so bad they're ignoring, it looks like, Justice Department direction on the issue. So we asked for the text messages. We got back the usual, we're not giving them to you. So we filed an administrative appeal with the Department of Justice Office of Information Policy, arguing that the text messages involving government-related business sent between government officials with whom all of the persons identified in the scope of the request do in fact constitute government records that fall within the purview of FOIA. In response, the Justice Department remanded our request to further review to the FBI for further review, but the FBI ignored it and is continuing to withhold the FBI text messages from us. And what are the text messages? These are text messages between, between and among, technically, Andrew McCabe and Lisa Page and Peter Strzok and Jennifer Leonard, and a White House official responsible for communications with the FBI on key matters during the Obama years, as I said, Lisa Monaco. So they've got this attitude that the rule of law doesn't apply to them. And this is the Ray FBI. This is why you can't trust the FBI. They don't think the rules apply to them as a law enforcement agency. They're ignoring even the Justice Department. In July, a federal court rejected the FBI's request to dismiss a separate Judicial Watch lawsuit on behalf of Jeffrey Danik, a retired FBI supervisory special agent, for emails and text messages of FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe. Now, after they got that decision, they retreated a bit and they said they'll give us text messages. And they gave us several pages of almost completely redacted and unusable, practically speaking, McCabe text messages. And in giving us the messages, they said, we're giving them to you. We're not conceding you're subject to FOIA. We're just being nice to you. Ray's FBI is a disaster. It's a disaster on so many levels. He'd be quite comfortable in a Biden administration, that's for sure. So we're suing. As I say in our statement, the Ray FBI asserts, contrary to DOJ policy, it can delete and keep secret all text messages, including those by the corrupt cadre responsible for the illicit spying on President Trump. And we hope the court quickly orders the FBI to preserve and produce these text messages under FOIA as the law requires. So we'll see what happens. You know what judge was assigned to the case? I'll let you guess. Judge Emmett G. Sullivan, who's handling the Flynn case or mishandling the Flynn case. So hopefully he sees through the corrupt conduct here and holds the FBI accountable. I've been, Judge Sullivan has, we've been dealing with Judge Sullivan for years at Judicial Watch. He's had several Judicial Watch cases, and he's been a good judge in my view. Never as good as you want him to be. No judge is going to do everything you want him to do, but all things being equal, he ain't been that bad for us, at least on FOIA. Clinton emails. I mean, Judge Sullivan is as responsible as any judge in America for Hillary Clinton not being president, because he gave Judicial Watch all sorts of opportunity to expose and educate Americans about her email misconduct through the discovery during the campaign. So I completely flummoxed by his behavior in the Flynn case. So let's hope he reverts to the norm in our case. As you might imagine, the lawyers get very nervous, I'm sure, when I start talking about what the judges do and don't do in our cases, but I can't help myself. So we'll see how that case goes. But we have, in the meantime, we have another Strzok-Page email case, Lisa Page, Peter Strzok. Oh, by the way, before I move to that, if you haven't watched, you should watch our Obamagate movie that we co-produced with the Unreported Story Society. And it essentially has the actors, the stars are Dean Cain and Christy Swanson. Dean Cain of Superman fame on TV. Christy Swanson's been on a ton of movies. Buffy the Vampire Slayer was the movie I think she's most well known for. But they play Strzok and Page, and they have actors playing John Brennan and James Comey, and it's just great. It's a great movie, and I encourage you to watch it. It's on YouTube. We'll provide a link here. And what happens is they actually read the emails. That's the dialogue of the movie. It's all based on emails and text messages uncovered by Judicial Watch and other investigators, or public statements and testimony. So it's just it's funny, disturbing, and devastating in terms of its exposure of Obamagate. And along those lines, we have new emails that have come out. As I've been reporting to you over time, they've been slow walking the release of these emails. We won't get all the Page Strzok emails because the corrupt FBI and the Justice Department refuses to do anything about it, is just turning over the emails to us at a rate of 500 pages a month, which means that they all won't be turned over to us until at least the end of 2021, the next administration. Outrageous, isn't it? Outrageous. And we know why they're hiding it, because every time we get a batch, there's corruption exposed. And most recent, this new batch shows that there were missing meeting entries. So Lisa Page's calendar was missing meetings, and I guess the Microsoft Outlook, according to the documents, would have to recreate the meetings. So it looks like either the meetings were being deleted, either on purpose or accidentally. I can't rule that out, but certainly suspicious in light of the wiped phones separately Judicial Watch found. The deleted text messages, you may recall, of Page and Strzok from their days in the Mueller team. And now we have these missing calendar entries, including Going Dark Strategy meeting. That was one of the calendars that had to be recreated. So the question is, did Lisa Page know that this is what I would ask. Did you delete the calendar entries? And did you know, by the way, that your own computer was recreating them after the fact, despite their being deleted? I suspect she probably didn't. Admittedly, I'm guessing there. And of course, my concern is there are meetings that weren't recreated. Was she deleting other calendar entries that weren't recreated by the Microsoft backup program?
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all the latest news from Judicial Watch.